Well, greetings and salutations, everyone. I hope everyone is still doing well, and welcome to tonight's night ending bonus upload. Before we jump into it, a couple links. As many of you know, I rely on Patreon, PayPal, channel membership, and the merch to help the channel to continue to grow and go. Links to Patreon, PayPal, and channel membership is in the description below. Merch displayed directly under the video. Also, Dogman Frightening Encounters, Volume 1 through 3, the audiobook versions. They were written and researched by Tom Lyons, narrated and produced by me, Jeff Nadolny. Those audiobooks are available on Audible, Amazon, and iTunes, links to which are also in the description as well. And finally, last but definitely not least, if you'd really like to help support the channel to continue to grow and go, simply subscribe. It doesn't cost a cent. Click that like button, takes half a second. If you don't want to miss out on any of the informative uploads I put out daily, click that bell icon, and folks, please leave a comment. Why? Well, because these things really do help the channel to continue to grow and go. And yes, folks, they really do matter. Now, everyone, I have taken far too much of your time. Let's jump into this night-ending bonus upload. Shall we? Before we get into this interview, real quick, there was a little bit of issue in the beginning, and he was a little nervous to start out. I just want to forewarn you that as he gets going, though, he starts to loosen up. He kind of had it in his head that you were all right there listening. I had to stop him and say, hey, man, it's just me and you. Calm down, slow down, relax, and tell me your experience. Let's get into it. All right, everybody. Tonight I have BD with me. He is from Louisiana. He shared his 3 encounters with us. I narrated them. And I was hoping to have him on last night, but he had an unfortunate accident helping his cousin collect snakes for milking. But tonight I have BD. BD, how are you doing tonight?
Good, Jeff. How y'all doing tonight?
I'm doing wonderful.
Good.
Pretty much just like I said to you, the floor is yours. I'd love to hear your encounters in your words and with a little bit of the detail that you left out. So I'm giving you the floor, my friend.
Gotcha. All right, everybody. My name's BD. I'm 43 years old. Lived in Louisiana my whole life. Grew up hunting and fishing since I could walk. I live about 30 minutes south of Lafayette, Louisiana. Like I said, it's not far from where Sebastian was taken from. So I've been working in the swamp since I was 16 years old. You know, I've hunted alligators, crawfish, commercial fishing. You name it, I've done it. I've had a lot of strange happenings to me in the swamp. A lot of supernatural encounters. You know, anyway, let me get a bit of the way my property is. I live behind my mom and dad's. You know, they got about good 60 acres of property. My house is behind the house. You know, it's a pretty good walk. You walk through a field and a little bit about 70 yards of woods just to get to my home. Not to get off topic, but when I was about 5 years old, when we first moved here, me and my father was out on the front porch, and we could hear the coyotes yipping and howling. Then all of a sudden I hear this long, drawn-out wolf type howl. So that's the first real, I'll say, encounter that I've had. Well, let me see. my first encounter happened, I guess this was about, I'm guessing about 6 years ago. I usually get up around 4 a.m. to get ready for work. Get up, I'll make my coffee, make my lunch for the day, let my dog out. This particular morning, when I went to let him out, and I opened the door to let him out, he went out on the porch, and usually he goes down and, does his business. This morning, he just stands there on the porch, his hair standing up on his back, he's growling, and like, what the hell? He never does this, so I kind of try to coax him down the steps, and he refused to go. So I pull him back in the house. And my dog's big, and he's a 145-pound white pit bull. He's never been afraid, anything. So, and he's very special to me, man. He saved my life when my trailer caught fire, dragged me off my sofa to wake me up. He's a very special dog, very smart. Anyway, when I go to let him out, it didn't seem like him, man. So I was like, well, whatever. So anyway, let him back in, get ready for work. I get dressed, make my lunch. When I go to walk out the door, he gets between me and the door. I figure he want to leave and come with me. So I just kind of push past him and lock my door, start my walk where my truck is. So I got to walk through about 75 yards, roughly, of a wooded trail, and just about another 125 with field and yard where my truck's parked in my mom's. It's always dark when I leave. It's 4:30 in the morning by the time I leave, so I use my flashlight. It's a little keychain light, it's getting very bright, so I'm heading the truck. Get about halfway up there to the wooded part, and I don't know, it's weird. It's like this strange feeling comes over me, like I'm being watched. And I really don't scare easy, guys. I've been through a lot of stuff. Yeah. Anyway, I keep walking, get the rest of the way out of the wooded area. When I make it out the wooded area trail, I turn to head towards my truck. I take a few steps and I hear a sound like another little cracking. So I turn and shine my light. All I could see was this black shape. It looked like a big dog, kind of like a Great Dane, but a little bigger. I couldn't make it out too good, with that piece of crap light I had. I could just see the shape of him. We stared at each other for a few seconds, and I turned back, start to my truck, take a few more steps, hear another crack. So I turn around again, shine my little light. That's when I see the creature stand up. All I could do was just stand there and stare at this thing. I wanted to run, but like my legs wouldn't work, man. It's like I was stuck. So I'm just staring at this thing. We're staring at each other. It takes 2 or 3 steps towards me, and finally I just get my legs start going. So I start running fast as I can. Yeah. So I'm running fast as I can. I'm not looking back.
Right.
I still got probably a good 80 yards to get to my where my truck is. I wasn't sure or not if the thing was after me. I was praying to God it wasn't. I could hear this, the thing running. I could hear its paws as they were hitting the ground. So then I knew it was after me. So I keep running. Then tricky thing. So this isn't gonna sound real. No, I could feel this thing's breathing. I could feel his hot breath on the back of my neck, man. So I'm praying to God, man, I could make it to my truck. I really thought I was a dead man at this time.
Right. BD, not to cut you off real quick, but when it stood up, could you see when you shined your little flashlight around, did you get any eye color or eye shine?
Yes, Jeff, it had almost like I don't want to say yellowish, but a golden amber type color, I want to say.
Okay.
You know, like when you shine your flashlight and, let's see, like an alligator will have a red shine.
Okay.
You know, it was like that, but almost a golden type shine.
So almost like a cat, kind of?
Correct.
Okay. Now, when it stood up, how high or how tall, what were you guesstimating this thing to be?
At least, it had to at least be 7.5. Easy. Maybe 8.
Okay. All right. I didn't mean to cut you off.
That's all right.
So you just get to your truck.
Yeah. Anyway, when I'm running, I get to where my parents' fence is, and when I get to the fence, I turn. You know, I got about 15 yards to go to the truck, so I was about right there. This is when I was the most scared, running. This running part. I had my keys in my hand with the light on them. I'm praying to God. You know, I know this thing is chasing me, man. I pray to God that my truck door is unlocked. And it's just kind of hard talking about this, man.
Take your time.
Anyway, I make it to my truck. I grab my door handle. Praise God, man. It was unlocked. I jump in my truck, easily slam and lock the door. I turn on the headlights on bright. And that's when I got the shock of my life, Jeff. This thing was standing right there by the fence part, 15 yards from me. You know, I could see it good as day,
right,
looking dead at me where my truck was. Man, I swear it looked like this thing came from hell, man. His head looked like, the best I could explain it, it almost looked hyena-ish, but wolf-like too, in a way. It was like nothing I've seen before.
Right.
Its ears were pointed with the tufts of hair. It standing up, you know, kind of like a dog. It kind of almost looked like rabbit ears, but, you know, bigger and a little more slender, but tall, long ears.
Okay.
It was black. It had a little bit of gray. You know how dogs, when they get old, they get a little bit of gray around their muzzles?
Yeah.
It had that on it, like a little bit of gray on his chest. Now the build on this thing, man, it was huge. And even with the hair on him, I could see, you know, the definition in his muscles, man. It was huge, Jeff. You know, like I said, any bodybuilders known today, this thing was a man. He was a man. You know, he was a big boy.
Right.
Yeah.
So I remember when you wrote out the encounter, you said with all the hair, you could still see the definition. So, like,
yes,
you could see the, you know, like if you're looking at back in the day, Arnold Schwarzenegger with the, you know, the jacked body with hair, just imagine like with hair, you could definitely see like the rips, the cuts in his muscular chest and stomach area. Okay.
Yeah. And his hair was thicker around his neck area, but like on his front area. You know when a dog stands up, they have a narrower type chest?
Yep.
This thing had a man's type chest, you know, with the pecs and abs. I mean, it was definitely something out of a movie. You know, it didn't look natural. I mean, this thing just scared the shit out of me, man.
Right. Absolutely.
Go ahead.
Oh, I just said absolutely.
Oh yeah. Then the most messed up thing he did, he looks at me, rocking back and forth, just standing there, and then the thing grins at me, smiles. It wasn't like a dog. You know when a dog's mad, they snarl and curl their upper lips?
Yeah.
It smiled, not a snarl. This was a smile. Just, it's like it was mocking me, like, you know, SOB, I could have got you if I wanted you.
Right, yeah.
Anyway, he stands there for a few seconds, rocking back and forth, takes off, turns around, and walks into the woods. I get in my truck, leave. So I go about 2 or 3 miles, and I guess from the adrenaline pumping so hard, it got me sick. Pull over and throw up, and I call my parents. You know, it's right there in their yard, and I don't really know how to tell them this. You know, I saw a freaking werewolf in your yard. Anyway, I just tell them, look, man, I saw somebody creeping around the house in black, looked like a prowler. I said, please lock the doors, get the guns, call the police, you know, whatever, and get ready.
Right. When this thing took off, as after it grinned at you, did it take back off towards your house area or away from your house? Did it come from the same way it came?
No, it can't. Well, let me try to explain this. That my mom's house is like in the front of our property,
okay,
and my house is down. They got a wood line, and then my house is further down the wood line, through the wood line into a little open area, and he went kind of catty corner to where my house would be. You know, back into the wooded area.
Okay. Is there a lot of swamp area where you live, or a lot of water, or?
Yeah, we have a lot of swamp area, and a lot of hardwood area too.
Okay.
You know, I mean, I'm like, people that know where Lafayette is. Lafayette's almost not far from the coast.
Okay.
And I live maybe 30 minutes south of that. So we have a lot of marsh, swamp. I mean, it's almost as far as south as you could go.
No.
So I'm right in the middle of the swamp.
Beside like animals that live in the water or in the swamp, is there a good population of, you know, critters like raccoon, possum, or, you know, stuff like that for them to eat?
Yeah, we overrun with rabbits. They got nutria-rats. In fact, they got a bounty on nutria-rats that they $5. You bring in a nutria-rat tail, $5. But I don't do that kind of thing. I don't really care for just killing like that.
Right.
You know,
right.
But a lot of people do.
For the people that live.
We have deer and.
For the people that live in the north and the people that live in the southwest, can you explain to everybody what a nutria-rat is?
A nutria-rat, it's a picture of a rat, a regular rat like the ones y'all got in New York.
Yep.
Probably 5 times bigger. I'm not lying. You could look it up if anybody hasn't seen a nutria-rat. They're huge, and but they mostly live in the water.
Okay.
Swampish areas.
All right.
Yeah, we got deer, hogs, and that's another thing where we'll run with hogs down here.
Yeah, and it seems to me like these things like to eat hog. So who knows? All right, I was just seeing what you had for kind of like a feasting area for these guys down there. So,
oh yeah, I found dead deer. Matter of fact, last year when I was deer hunting, I found a doe dead, and I couldn't see anything wrong with it. And I flipped it over, and just the side that I flipped over, the rear, the rear haunch, or the top part of his back legs,
hawks?
hind quarter.
Yep.
His hind quarter was eaten out. And that
Really?
was the only thing eaten out. And I went back about a week later, to go again, and he was gone. All was left was the bones.
Huh. All right. That's crazy.
That's
crazy. That's definitely something's out there. I mean,
yeah, it did kind of creep me out a little bit.
I can imagine. So after that, you go to work. You get home. What happens after that? Nothing that night, or?
Well, I'll tell you what. I get to work. I stay at work maybe an hour, man, and I tell the looker, man, I was too shaken up and sick to even work, so I go home, man. I go to Lowe's and I buy motion detectors, put that up all around my house. Then I get a friend of mine. He come and installed alarm system on my house, my windows and doors. The thing really messed me. It really freaked me out. Yeah, I mean, and for the longest time, I couldn't talk about it.
Right, I'm sure it did, and I appreciate you coming on tonight and sharing it with us. I really do.
Yeah, it's pretty hard to talk about, man.
Now, when is your second encounter happen? Shortly after, or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the second encounter happened about I guess.
Okay.
Want to get into that one?
Yeah, absolutely. If you're willing to, I'd like to hear all the other two if you're willing to do that.
Yeah. All right. Well, this is my second one. Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right. I go to bed, and then me and my dog, I stay by myself with my dog. So it's about 1:30, 2 o'clock, and I wake up to my dog growling by my bedroom window. So I get up, I walk to the window. I had my pistol. Open the window. I don't open the window. I pull the blinds down to see what I could see, and I couldn't see anything. So I just kind of go back in bed and try to get my dog to calm down. Finally, he calms down. Finally, I start back again drifting off. Right when I start drifting off back to sleep, I get woken up by a scratching sound on the side of my bed, like my house, but where my bed is, by the window again. Excuse me, man. Give me a second. This is kind of... I get up, grab my 44 mag from the dresser, start heading to the window. When I pull back the blinds, I'm face to face with this thing in the window, Jeff. It's looking at me. It's got its nose pressed against the screen. And I about fainted, man. I just about lost it, man. I didn't know what to do. I pick up my pistol and point it at it. Second, I point my pistol at this thing, it moves. And when I say it moved faster than anything I've ever seen in my life. I mean, it didn't look real, Jeff. It was just looked like something sucked it away, like almost. Right. I mean, it's hard to explain.
No, I can understand. Like, it was just there 1 second, gone the next. Which is evident that they know what a gun is, you know? I mean,
yes, this thing knew exactly what that thing was when I picked it up, or it had to. Yeah. I mean, you could tell it had to be intelligent, man. You know? And then after that happened, I sleep with guns by my bed, man. Like I said, I got a 45-70 lever action with my, on one side, my AK-47, 70-pound round drum mag with metal jacket rounds in it, man. You know, if it gets in, I don't know if that's gonna keep me alive, but I'll sure pour as much lead at them as I can if they get in my house. You know, I don't want to kill one of these things, but
I mean, if it's coming after you, you've got to do it. You know, I mean,
definitely.
I'm pretty sure an AK-47. You know, I mean, I'm pretty sure everybody that listens to this channel has seen some sort of video of what an AK can do to just a brick house. You know what I mean? Like it'll just chisel out stone. So, I mean, especially then you've got your 45-70. That's not a slouch gun either. That's a large round.
It's a big caliber. It's I mean, people hunt buffalo with 45-70s.
Yep. For those who don't know, it's the same, different grain, but same bullet as a 4.58 SOCOM, pretty much.
Yeah. Right.
So then we move on to your third encounter, your third and final encounter.
Right. My third encounter, this happened September of last year, and I was on my way home from a party. My friends had a bachelor party, and it was about 3, you know. And I'm gonna say, people say, "Oh, you might have been drunk and seen something." I haven't drank in probably 15 years.
Okay.
So just let me get on with it. Okay, I'm pulling in my driveway, coming home from the party. When I'm pulling in, my lights are shining the driveway with my parents. See, I pulled through my parents' driveway to get to my house. When my headlights shine by where my parents keep the trash can, I could see this thing. First of all, the trash can was laid on its side, and I could see something halfway in and out of it, like a dog, you know, is what I thought it was. When I get a little closer, it pulls its head out the trash, looks at my truck for a few seconds, then it stands up, and it sachets, like, calmly off into the woods, man. Just like it wasn't scared at one bit. This one wasn't, it was much different from the other ones I saw.
Okay.
It was, it was a lot thinner. Its head looked like a German, kind of like a cross between a German Shepherd and a Coyote. This one I saw had a short, bushy tail on it. The other one I never really noticed if it had a tail or not, but this one did. It had a short tail.
Okay.
And it wasn't the tallest. It was probably about 5.5, no more than 6 foot. And it was either, this one had to either be a juvenile or a female. Yeah.
Right.
It was much smaller.
And another a thing that you said with the garbage cans, we're not talking the thin, you know, garbage receptacles that people put out by the side of their street. You guys have some big, you know, cans down there that you use. You said, right?
Yeah, they're almost like a miniature dumpster. You know,
okay.
They're big. You know, for me to knock it on the side full of garbage. You know, you gotta put out to do that. And a regular dog just doesn't have the capabilities, I would think, to do that unless it was a big one, maybe.
Right. So now the second one that I know this one, the second one freaks you out a lot because you could hear it. You could hear it in your voice. So I don't mean to bring it up, but
that's all right.
The face and head, did that resemble the first one that you saw, like the hyena-ish?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. And it was. I mean, I was not even a foot and a half from it. Is what freaked me. It was just face to face with it, man, and I mean, it freaked me out, man, and I just didn't know who to talk to about it. Finally, I could confide in my grandmother, so I go talk to her, and I tell her what I saw. First encounter, second one, she tells me it's the Rougarou, and another thing I really didn't talk about was the way my life was when this, was going on. I wasn't, let me say it, I just wasn't an angel, Jeff. I had problems back then. I really don't want to get into, but it kind of almost scared me straight, Jeff.
Most definitely. And you don't really need to get into it because, I mean, it was a little bit mentioned in the narration part. Now, your grandmother, she completely believed you. Did you ever tell your parents about this or no?
Yes, I did. Eventually, I told them about it. But I mean, my parents believe in the paranormal for sure, so.
Right.
They know there's things out here.
Well, like you and I were talking prior to this, and I asked you a couple questions, and I said, we hear about the Dogman being flesh and blood. Can you explain, because a lot of people have a misconception of what the Rougarou is, whether it be Reddit or whatever. Now, we have someone from straight Louisiana. Can you let us know what the natives of Louisiana consider a Rougarou, please?
Sure. The older people around here consider the Rougarou to be almost like what people call a shapeshifter. One night it could come out as a alligator or a coyote, or a lot of times they say they take shape of a werewolf. And they got all kind of legends about the Rougarou. They say if you see a Rougarou and tell someone about it, you become a Rougarou, which sounds crazy to me, but that's just the legends, know?
Right. Now, the thing that I want everybody to remember is that BD is not just, your regular guy who, works a 9 to 5. He's been working the swamps, hunting gator. I mean, he just got bit by a water moccasin going to help his cousin milk snakes. So you don't scare easy,
No.
And for me to hear the fear and, the shudder in your voice when you were talking about your second encounter, that just, that's just verification for me that, this really screwed your brain up a little bit. And I really do appreciate you coming on and sharing it. I really do.
Yeah, it took a lot, Jeff. I mean, it's a very touchy subject for me. I told one of my cousins about it. It's one of the few people I told, and he looked at me and said, "Man, you need to get help, man. You're crazy." And that, just stopped me from talking about it pretty much.
Right.
And I don't know. I just don't like talking about it. Period. After that.
Well, hopefully this can, now that you got a little bit of it out, hopefully it'll help you a little bit. hopefully you don't have any more encounters with these things, because, it's nothing that anybody wants to see. And I read in the comment section that people want to hunt these things and do this and do that. And
I'll tell you, man, everybody out there that wants to find a Dogman, take my word for it, guys, just don't. You do not want to be face to face with one of these things.
That's some definitely smart advice right there. Well, we're coming up on time, my friend. Is there anything that you'd like to say to end the upload to everybody?
No, I guess that's about it, Jeff. I mean, I got a few other things I could talk about, other encounters I've heard of, but I mean, that would take a while.
All right.
I'll have to get another time.
Yeah, I mean, if you've got time and you want to share some Louisiana encounters with us, I mean, I'm hoping that it won't be, actually, I'm pretty sure it won't be as personal, so it'll be a little easier to talk about. That would be amazing. I'd love to do, like I said to you, one of my research goals is to go down south, Louisiana, Georgia, Mississippi, and just find the old timers that are sitting on their porch, that have been on their porch for 50 years, that have seen these things, and talk to them.
I tell you what, I guess if you ever do, I could definitely introduce you to a lot of older men that we could sit there and listen to their stories for hours.
Well, that would be great. Well, BD, we're out of time right now. I want to thank you for coming on, and stay safe, all right?
All right, Jeff. Thank you, man.
All right, folks, what an amazing interview. Guys, Ben is usually in the comment section of the live stream, so if you ever want to pop into the live and say hi, he'll be there. Great information, and just a great guy. I remember doing this interview. Just a super person. He actually lives the life of kind of like a swamper. I remember we had the interview set, and he's like, I got bit by a water moccasin, and we're gonna have to wait a couple hours. And it was kind of crazy because he sent me the photo of it too, of the bite mark and stuff. Just a nice guy. Anyway, guys, thank you for supporting the channel. Your support is honestly what helps this channel to continue to grow and go. And honestly, what makes it a place where people can share their experiences, ideas, and theories, judgment-free and ridicule-free, just simply treated with the respect that we all deserve. Everyone stay safe, happy, healthy, and ever vigilant, keeping an eye on our children, pets, family, friends. These creatures are real. They're out there. They're dangerous. Share this information with those you love and care about, and it may just help save their lives someday. Until next time, never stop asking questions, never stop searching for the truth, and God bless.